You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your educational journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Encryption is one of the most fundamental controls in cloud security, acting as a shield that preserves both confidentiality and integrity. The purpose of encryption is to ensure that even if data is intercepted, stolen, or improperly accessed, it remains unreadable without the correct keys. In cloud environments, encryption is particularly important because data constantly moves between storage systems, applications, and networks that are shared with other tenants. Protecting information at rest and in transit prevents exposure from hardware theft, misconfigurations, or malicious actors monitoring traffic. Encryption does not eliminate all risks, but it dramatically reduces their impact, turning potential breaches into non-events. When paired with strong key management, encryption becomes a cornerstone of trust in cloud systems, reassuring both organizations and their customers that sensitive data is safeguarded. At its core, cryptography is the application of mathematical techniques to secure information and communications. Cryptographic algorithms transform data into forms that appear random and unintelligible to unauthorized parties, while still allowing those with the correct keys to restore it. Cryptography provides three critical services: confidentiality, which hides the contents of messages or files; integrity, which ensures that information has not been tampered with; and authenticity, which proves the identity of senders and recipients. In cloud systems, these services support nearly every security requirement, from protecting stored files to securing web sessions. The strength of cryptography lies not only in the algorithms, but also in their correct implementation. Poorly managed or outdated cryptographic practices can undermine even the most sophisticated systems. Symmetric encryption is the simplest and most widely used form of cryptography, relying on a single key to both encrypt and decrypt data. This approach is highly efficient, making it ideal for bulk data protection such as encrypting entire storage volumes or network traffic streams. However, the challenge lies in securely distributing and managing the shared key. If the key is intercepted or copied, the confidentiality of all associated data is compromised. In cloud environments, symmetric encryption is often paired with key management services that automate distribution and rotation. The combination of speed and control makes symmetric encryption the default choice for large-scale protection, but its effectiveness depends entirely on the security of the key lifecycle. Asymmetric encryption, also called public key cryptography, uses a pair of mathematically related keys, a public key for encryption and a private key for decryption. This separation solves the key distribution problem, since public keys can be shared freely while private keys remain secret. Asymmetric encryption is slower than symmetric methods, so it is typically used for secure key exchange, digital signatures, and authentication rather than bulk data encryption. For example, when two systems establish a secure channel, asymmetric encryption allows them to exchange a symmetric session key safely. Cloud services rely heavily on asymmetric primitives to authenticate servers, manage certificates, and establish trust boundaries. By combining it with symmetric techniques, organizations gain both scalability and performance. Encryption at rest protects data stored on disks, snapshots, and backups. It ensures that even if a storage device is stolen, misconfigured, or accessed by an unauthorized administrator, the data remains unreadable without the correct keys. Cloud providers commonly apply encryption at rest by default, using full disk, volume, or object-level techniques. Customers may also choose stronger protections, such as customer-managed keys, to meet compliance needs. Encryption at rest is particularly important for sensitive workloads like healthcare or financial systems, where regulations demand assurance that data remains protected outside of active use. By safeguarding stored information, encryption at rest acts as the foundation of cloud confidentiality. Encryption in transit secures data as it moves between clients, services, and components across networks. Without it, attackers could intercept sensitive traffic, using techniques such as packet sniffing or man-in-the-middle attacks. Encryption in transit ensures that even if communications are captured, the contents cannot be understood. This applies to traffic between users and cloud services, as well as east-west traffic between services inside a cloud environment. Secure channels such as transport layer security provide confidentiality and integrity for these flows. In cloud systems, encryption in transit is essential because traffic often traverses shared infrastructure, making it inherently exposed unless protected. Transport layer security, or TLS, is the dominant protocol for securing data in transit. TLS provides three key assurances: authentication, ensuring that the communicating parties are who they claim to be; confidentiality, ensuring that messages are encrypted; and integrity, ensuring that they are not altered in transit. TLS underpins HTTPS, making it the backbone of secure web communication. In cloud environments, TLS extends beyond web traffic to APIs, service-to-service calls, and database connections. Correct implementation of TLS with strong ciphers, current versions, and valid certificates is critical. Misconfigured TLS endpoints remain a common weakness that attackers exploit, making TLS hygiene a vital part of operational security. Perfect Forward Secrecy, or PFS, strengthens TLS sessions by ensuring that unique keys are generated for each connection. This means that even if a long-term key is later compromised, past sessions cannot be decrypted. Without PFS, attackers who obtain a server's private key could retroactively decrypt stored traffic captures, exposing sensitive history. PFS prevents this by using ephemeral key exchanges, typically through algorithms such as Diffie-Hellman or elliptic curve variants. In cloud environments, where long-term key compromise is a real risk, PFS provides resilience by protecting past communications. It illustrates how modern cryptography not only protects the present, but also defends the past. Algorithm selection is a critical decision in encryption strategy. Organizations must favor modern, vetted ciphers and modes that are appropriate to both sensitivity and performance needs. For example, Advanced Encryption Standard with Galois/Counter Mode, or AES-GCM, offers both confidentiality and integrity in one operation and is widely recommended. Legacy algorithms such as DES or RC4 should be avoided due to known weaknesses. Performance considerations also play a role. Some algorithms are computationally intensive, making them less suitable for large-scale encryption tasks. By choosing algorithms wisely, organizations ensure that encryption remains both secure and efficient, resisting both current and foreseeable attacks. The Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES, is the most widely used symmetric algorithm for protecting data at rest. AES offers strong security when implemented with sufficient key lengths, typically 128 or 256 bits, and it is supported by hardware acceleration in many processors, making it efficient for large-scale workloads. Cloud providers commonly rely on AES to encrypt volumes, files, and objects. Its combination of speed, strength, and standardization makes it the default choice for data-at-rest protection across industries. AES illustrates the broader principle that strong encryption depends on both robust algorithms and disciplined implementation. Asymmetric algorithms such as RSA and elliptic curve cryptography, or ECC, remain essential for key exchange and identity verification. RSA, based on the difficulty of factoring large numbers, has been the backbone of digital certificates for decades. ECC, offering equivalent security with shorter key lengths, provides greater efficiency, making it ideal for modern cloud systems. These algorithms are often used in tandem with symmetric methods. RSA, or ECC, establishes the secure channel, while AES protects the actual data. Together, they create hybrid systems that combine the best of both approaches, ensuring both scalability and performance. Their role underscores how encryption depends not on one method, but on the careful integration of many. Authenticated encryption with associated data, or AEAD, strengthens security by combining confidentiality and integrity in one operation. Traditional encryption protected only confidentiality, requiring separate mechanisms to detect tampering. AEAD modes, such as AES-GCM, provide both guarantees simultaneously, reducing complexity and preventing subtle vulnerabilities. In cloud environments, AEAD is especially important for APIs, storage objects, and network traffic, where tampering could be as damaging as exposure. By integrating confidentiality and integrity, AEAD simplifies implementation and strengthens trust in cryptographic protections. Message Authentication Codes, or MACs, provide integrity assurance by generating a cryptographic checksum tied to a secret key. MACs verify that data has not been altered and that it originated from an authorized source. They are commonly applied to messages, files, or storage objects in conjunction with encryption. For example, an object in cloud storage might be both encrypted and protected by a MAC to confirm authenticity. MACs add resilience by ensuring that even if attackers attempt to modify ciphertext, the tampering will be detected. This makes MACs an essential companion to encryption in achieving complete protection. Certificate management is another critical element of encryption in transit. Digital certificates bind identities to keys, enabling trust in communications. Certificates must be issued, renewed, and revoked on time, ensuring that trust is neither misplaced nor expired. In cloud systems, certificate mismanagement is a frequent source of outages and vulnerabilities, whether due to forgotten renewals or weak issuance practices. Automating certificate management reduces these risks, ensuring that trust relationships remain valid and reliable. Certificates illustrate that encryption is not only about mathematics, but also about governance, the processes that keep systems trustworthy over time. Encryption patterns vary depending on storage type. Full disk encryption protects entire devices, but once unlocked, all data is accessible. Volume encryption applies to logical partitions, offering finer granularity. File-level encryption protects individual files, while object-level encryption applies directly to cloud storage objects. Each approach has strengths and trade-offs, balancing transparency, performance, and precision. For example, full-disk encryption may be simple to deploy but less flexible, while object-level encryption provides more control but requires deeper integration. By understanding these patterns, organizations can match protections to specific risks and use cases, ensuring that encryption is applied effectively. Database encryption also follows multiple patterns. Tablespace encryption protects entire logical storage areas, while column-level encryption secures specific sensitive fields, such as social security numbers. Application layer encryption moves protection into the software itself, ensuring data is encrypted before it even reaches the database. This approach offers strong control but requires significant development effort. Each pattern serves different needs: broad protection, targeted precision, or end-to-end assurance. In regulated industries, column or application layer encryption may be necessary to prove that sensitive attributes are always encrypted. By tailoring database encryption patterns to context, organizations ensure both compliance and security. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Key management is the backbone of any encryption system, covering the full lifecycle of cryptographic keys from generation to destruction. Secure key generation ensures randomness and strength, while protected storage prevents theft or unauthorized access. Rotation policies replace keys at regular intervals or after suspected compromise, limiting the damage if one is exposed. Destruction ensures that retired keys cannot be recovered or reused. In cloud environments, key management is often automated through managed services, but customers may still choose to retain some control for compliance or trust reasons. Without disciplined key management, even the strongest algorithms lose effectiveness. Proper practices ensure that encryption remains more than symbolic, providing verifiable protection over time. Envelope encryption offers a scalable way to balance performance with security. In this model, a data encryption key, or DEK, encrypts the actual data, while a separate key encryption key, or KEK, protects the DEK, This layering allows large datasets to be encrypted quickly using the DEK, while KEKs manage the higher-level control and rotation. For example, if a KEK is rotated, the DEK does not need to be regenerated, only rewrapped. Cloud providers use this method extensively to combine efficiency with governance, allowing customers to manage KEKs while providers handle DEKs transparently. Envelope encryption demonstrates how architecture can balance operational practicality with robust security. Bring your own key, or BYOK, and hold your own key, or HYOK. Redefine trust boundaries in the cloud. BYOK allows customers to generate and manage keys externally, then import them into cloud key management systems for use. HYOK goes further by ensuring that keys never leave the customer's environment, with encryption and decryption operations occurring locally. These models appeal to organizations with strict compliance needs or high distrust of provider custody. However, they also increase responsibility. Customers must manage secure storage, rotation, and recovery. Losing a key may mean losing access to encrypted data permanently. BYOK and HYOK highlight the trade-off between sovereignty and complexity, emphasizing that greater control requires greater discipline. Mutual Transport Layer Security, or MTLS, enhances channel security by authenticating both the client and the server. Standard TLS verifies the server, ensuring that clients connect to the right endpoint. MTLS adds client certificates, so servers also confirm the identity of clients. This mutual authentication prevents unauthorized systems from impersonating trusted clients or gaining access to services. In cloud architectures, MTLS is often used in microservice communication, ensuring that only verified components exchange data. While it adds overhead in certificate management, MTLS provides strong assurance of trust, particularly in environments where sensitive data flows between many internal services. HTTP Strict Transport Security, or HSTS, strengthens web application security by enforcing encrypted connections. Once a browser receives an HSTS directive from a server, it refuses to connect over unencrypted HTTP, even if the user attempts to. This prevents downgrade attacks where an adversary tricks a client into using weaker protocols. In cloud-hosted web applications, HSTS ensures that users always benefit from TLS, closing a common loophole. While simple in concept, HSTS reinforces the principle that security should not be optional. By embedding enforcement into the client's behavior, it reduces reliance on user vigilance and eliminates one of the most common entry points for man-in-the-middle attacks. Key derivation functions transform human-chosen passphrases into strong cryptographic keys. Simple passwords lack the randomness required for secure keys, making them vulnerable to brute force attacks. Functions such as PBKDF2, bcrypt, or Argon2 introduce salt and computational cost, forcing attackers to spend significant resources guessing keys. In cloud systems, key derivation is vital for user authentication, encrypted file storage, and password management. By converting weak human input into strong cryptographic material, these functions bridge the gap between usability and security. Without them, even strong encryption schemes can be undermined by predictable keys derived directly from user-chosen phrases. Hardware security modules, or HSMs, provide tamper-resistant environments for storing keys and performing cryptographic operations. They are physical or virtual appliances designed to safeguard keys against theft, modification, or unauthorized use. HSMs can enforce policies such as preventing keys from being exported, ensuring that sensitive material never leaves secure boundaries. In cloud services, providers often offer managed HSMs that meet strict compliance standards. For highly regulated industries, HSMs provide the assurance that encryption keys are protected not only by software, but also by specialized hardware resistant to physical and logical attacks. They exemplify defense in depth for key custody. Secrets management systems extend protection beyond encryption keys to include credentials, tokens, and connection strings. These systems provide centralized, auditable storage and controlled distribution, reducing the risk of hard-coded secrets in code or configuration files. They can inject secrets into applications at runtime, ensuring that sensitive material never appears in logs or repositories. Secrets management also supports automated rotation and revocation, minimizing the window of exposure if a secret is compromised. In cloud environments, secrets management is essential for scaling securely, as the number of credentials grows rapidly across services and applications. It provides governance and visibility over some of the most sensitive assets in an organization. Internal Service Transport Encryption addresses east-west traffic inside cloud environments. While encryption in transit often focuses on north-south flows between users and services, internal communication between microservices or databases can also be targeted. Encrypting this traffic ensures that attackers who breach one service cannot eavesdrop on or manipulate traffic across the internal network. For example, a compromised container should not be able to read unencrypted queries between other services. Applying encryption consistently across east-west and north-south paths reinforces the principle that no path should be assumed safe. In modern distributed systems, internal transport encryption is essential for defense in depth. Performance considerations are critical when designing encryption systems at cloud scale. Strong algorithms and extensive protections are vital, but they consume processing resources. CPU offload, hardware acceleration, and efficient cipher modes help balance performance with security. For example, AES instructions built into modern processors enable encryption at line speed with minimal overhead. Careful choice of algorithms also matters. ECC provides stronger security with shorter keys compared to RSA, reducing computational load. Organizations must evaluate the impact of encryption on throughput and latency, ensuring that protections remain practical without degrading user experience. Security and performance must evolve together, not at each other's expense. Monitoring and logging provide visibility into encryption and key usage. Logs capture when keys are accessed, certificates are issued or revoked, and encryption settings are changed. This evidence supports both assurance and incident response, highlighting anomalies such as unexpected key use or expired certificates. Monitoring also ensures compliance, proving that encryption is applied consistently and that governance is functioning. For example, logs may reveal whether all volumes are encrypted or if TLS endpoints are configured correctly. Without monitoring, encryption becomes a black box, assumed but not verified. With it, organizations gain confidence that protections are real, current, and effective. Compliance alignment ensures that encryption controls meet regulatory and contractual obligations. Many frameworks explicitly require encryption at rest, in transit, or both, and demand evidence of compliance. For example, HIPAA requires protection of health data, PCI DSS mandates encryption of payment information, and GDPR emphasizes safeguards for personal data. Compliance alignment involves mapping encryption practices to these requirements and maintaining documentation. In cloud environments, shared responsibility means providers may supply part of the compliance evidence, while customers must configure and manage the rest. By aligning encryption with compliance, organizations not only meet legal obligations but also demonstrate accountability to customers and regulators. Failure mode awareness is vital to prevent encryption from failing silently. Expired certificates, weak ciphers, and misconfigured TLS endpoints can all undermine protection. For instance, if a certificate expires, secure sessions may fail or fall back to unencrypted communication. Weak cipher suites may expose traffic to known attacks, while misconfigured endpoints may leave services vulnerable. Awareness involves continuous scanning, testing, and patching, ensuring that encryption configurations remain strong and current. By treating failure as a possibility rather than an exception, organizations maintain resilience. This proactive stance ensures that encryption delivers real protection rather than a false sense of security. Data recovery procedures ensure that encrypted backups remain usable. Without the right keys, recovery efforts may fail, turning encryption into an obstacle rather than a safeguard. Recovery planning involves securely storing keys, ensuring they are accessible during emergencies, and validating that encrypted backups can be restored. For example, periodic drills may test whether keys can decrypt archived data successfully. These procedures provide assurance that encryption complements resilience rather than undermines it. In cloud systems, where automation is extensive, recovery processes must be integrated with key management and backup tools to ensure seamless restoration under stress. For learners, exam relevance lies in selecting appropriate encryption patterns, key custody models, and assurance evidence. Scenarios may test understanding of when to use symmetric versus asymmetric encryption, how BYOK and HYOK affect responsibility, or what controls align with compliance requirements. The ability to connect encryption choices to risk, performance, and governance is central. Beyond exams, this knowledge equips professionals to design encryption systems that are both strong and practical, ensuring that protections scale with cloud environments. In summary, encryption at rest and in transit delivers robust confidentiality and integrity when combined with disciplined key management and governance. Well-chosen algorithms such as AES and ECC provide strength and efficiency, while patterns like envelope encryption and MTLS address practical challenges. Supporting elements, including secrets management, certificate oversight, monitoring, and compliance alignment, ensure that encryption remains reliable over time. Failure mode awareness and recovery procedures add resilience, preventing protection from collapsing under neglect. Together, these practices make encryption a living safeguard that adapts to dynamic cloud systems, providing measurable assurance that sensitive data remains secure wherever it resides or moves. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.